Hello mamas! Today we're going to be focusing on activating pelvic floor through gentle work with our hip adductors, those inner thighs, but also mobilizing our hip joints. We want to bring the blood flow into our pelvis, not just to release the discomfort, swelling or pain, but to prevent those common pregnancy issues like hemorrhoids or varicose veins. As always, let's move with intention and give our bodies the love it deserves. Today we're going to be using Pilates ball. A little bit later, I'm going to put it on the side for now. And we're going to start in a supine position, laying on our back. We're going to get here gently sideways. And the first exercise is our go-to exercise for any prenatal yoga, for postnatal yoga, for the recovery. This is literally exercise that you can do in bed a second after you give birth. It's pelvic clock. Very small range, very gentle, minimal force. As always, we visualize our pelvis to be a bowl with water. So we start gently moving it side to side, making sure that our feet are hip distance apart, so they're flat on the ground. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually press the knee, one knee forward and another backwards. So if our pelvis is a bowl with water, the water would be spilling on one side and then on another. As we bring in the right knee forward, the water is spilling from the left. And as we bring the left knee forward, the water is spilling on the right. I'm going to remove my hands so you can see the movement of my pelvis. The range is very small, so we don't even lift our hips off the ground. Very, very tiny range. All we want to do is to establish this mind-body connection. Bring that awareness into our lumbar spine. And let's also bring the awareness to our breath, making sure we're not holding the breath. Side to side, beautiful. Let's do one more. Perfect. And now let's spill the water forward as we slightly arch the back and backwards as we tuck the pelvis forward, bringing that pubic bone towards the face. So, arching very slightly and tucking back and forth. Perfect. 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. This is the whole concept of pelvic clock, is back and forth. Perfect. Let's do a couple more. Now we're going to engage the breath. We're going to go in as we arch and exhale as we tuck. And inhale as we arch. Expand the rib cage and exhale as we tuck. Let's do one more. Inhale, stretch the core muscles, and exhale with slight contraction in the core. This is where we start bringing that awareness. This is where pelvic floor muscles start activating. And exhale. Now let's draw a full circle with our hips. So as we imagine in this bowl of water, we're gonna spill it all around slowly keeping that breathing pattern of inhaling as we arch and exhaling as we tuck. Stretching the core and contracting the core on the exhale. Perfect. Let's do one more in this direction. And let's switch direction. I keep my hands away from my hips just so you can see the movement, but you can place your hips right on the hip bones. This way you can control the motion. I'm gonna bring my hands here. You can also bring them up for more classic Pilates. Let's do a couple more. And the last one. Beautiful. So for the next movement, we're going to continue doing pelvic floor, but let's open up the hip, one hip to the side, this knee towards the floor, but we don't want to touch the floor. We don't want to lose that connection of your hips with the ground. So both hips are on the floor, knees striving towards the floor, but no pressure at all. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue doing pelvic clock, but with having this a little bit of a release in the inner thighs. You will feel a little bit of a stretch here in the adductor as well as the glutes. Perfect, yes. Gentle, very small movements, very small range. Coming back to the breath. Inhalation. And exhalation, bringing that contraction into your abs, into the pelvic floor. We slowly introducing that contraction into the pelvic floor. For now, we're just trying to establish this connection between our brain and our pelvis. And exhale as we tuck, and let's switch this side. So bringing that left knee towards the floor, opening up the hip, maybe placing that foot closer to the opposite heel, making sure both hips are staying on the ground. We're not lifting up the hip here, both on the ground. And let's go. Inhale, expand the rib cage, and exhale, bringing that contraction. Inhale and beautiful. We're staying relaxed, making sure there's not too much force here. We're working at 4 out of 10. And let's go with the last one. Inhale, slight arch. Exhale, tuck in the pelvis. Beautiful. Now let's grab our Pilates ball. We're going to place it in between our knees. So we're going to activate our adductors, our inner thigh, bringing more attention to the pelvic floor muscles. So we continue with the pelvic clock with tucks. However, right now we're keeping that tension on the ball. So it should be about 6 out of 10. Let's bring our feet closer together. 6 out of 10 tension here. You right away feel that contraction in the inner thigh. So keeping that contraction, we're gonna arch the back and tug the pelvis. It's a constant tension. Perfect. Making sure you're not losing that tension, making sure you're not squeezing too hard where everything is shaking. A little bit of shake is good, but we're keeping it reasonable. Perfect. We have about 3 more. And the last one. If you lost that pressing, bring it back. Bring back attention to the hips. And let's progress it a little bit. So keeping that tension, pressing into the ball. We're going to tug the pelvis and come up into the bridge. Squeeze and lower down slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. So making sure we don't come up and come down with the back arched. We're actually coming down, starting from the chest all the way down. Tailbone is the last one to touch the ground. So up and down. Perfect. Keeping that pelvic tilt. And up and down. Perfect. At the same time, pressing into the ball. And up. Squeezing the glutes at the top and slowly placing them into the ground. We have 3 more. Let's go. Beautiful. You go at your own pace. You don't have to follow my pace. And let's go. The last one, focusing on everything, pressing into the ball, tilting the pelvis, coming all the way up, squeezing, and bringing this down. Perfect. So right now, let's come onto our side. Gently, we're going to place the Pilates ball under our ribs. Legs are stuck together. Knees on top of each other. And we're going to try to balance and relax here. The arms straight up above 45 degrees. So it's not in here. It's not in here. It's above 45. Perfect. Let's activate our obliques a little bit. We're going to grab our opposite ear with our hand. And on the exhale, we're going to bring it up, stretch the rib cage, and come back down. So actually exhaling on the way up on the contraction, inhaling on the way down. One, two. You want to feel how your rib cage is opening up. 3, perfect. At the same time, making sure shoulders don't come up, they stay down. Beautiful. We have 3 more. We're going for a total of 8 per each side. Exhale, inhale. And let's do the last one. Beautiful. Now let's place our ball in between the knees. We're going to come down, lay on our arm. Head is resting right on top of the arm. What we're gonna do, let's bend both elbows. We're gonna come forward around the spine and do a few chest openers here. We always do chest openers, almost every routine. This is very crucial for overall mobility. And we inhale as we open up the chest, exhale as we come back. Inhale and exhale. Perfect. Let's go 5 more. The pressure on the ball is about 5 out of 10. Slowly increasing the range as we open up. Here we don't want to arch the back too much. The spine is in neutral position. And let's do one more. Inhale, open up. Exhale, coming back. And the last exercise in this sequence, before we switch the side, is going to be a sort of a side plank. We're gonna lift the hip up. The option is to stay here for the next minute and just breathe. Want to tug the pelvis forward, bring a bit contraction into our belly, or the option of progression, we want to hinge the hips back and bring them forward, squeeze. Bring that activation into our glutes, into adductors, and as a result, into the pelvic floor muscles. Exhale on contraction, pressing the hips back. Perfect, just like that. We have 3 more. I'm sliding down for some reason. Perfect, I'm getting this a little shake at the top. We have 1 more. Perfect, and let's switch the side. Perfect, coming to the side, placing the ball under the ribs. Left arm straight, again, not to the side, not to the forward, just 45 degrees. Knees right on top of each other. Hand behind the head, or we can hold that opposite ear, and we're gonna allow our rib cage to stretch and come up into a crunch with an exhale. Activating obliques and activating pelvic floor. That's a neurological connection between our core muscles and pelvic floor. Which can be established through the breathing. Perfect, let's go, we have 4 more. Beautiful, keeping connected to the breath. Getting this a little bit of shake at the top on the contraction. Perfect, and now placing the ball in between our knees. Coming down, placing the head on top of our arm. Another hand behind the head, so we're gonna come into the chest openers on the inhale. And exhale as we come back. Perfect. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. We have 4 more. In and out. Perfect. Opening up the chest, bringing the shoulder blades together and pulling them apart. Going at your own pace, just making sure you come in to a full opening, whichever range is available to you. Let's do one more. Inhale, open up, stretch the chest, and exhale. Beauty. Coming into a kneeling side plank. Perfect. So option to stay here, or we hinge the hips back and bring them forward. Inhale as we go back. Exhale as we come and contract the muscles. Pressing into the ball, keeping those adductors active. We have 2 more. Feeling the shake, contracting. The transverse abdominals are our most important muscle. We're going to bring that awareness in the next exercise. Perfect. Let's put the ball aside. I think we're going to need it anymore today. Let's come into a tabletop position. Hips are on top of the knees. Shoulders on top of the wrists. Here we're going to do bracing of the core, hugging the baby exercise. Basically, what are we doing with each exhalation? We contract our deepest core muscle called transverse abdominals. So this muscle is a horizontal muscle that looks like a corset. It goes all around our core, including our back. So what we're gonna do, let me show you sideways first. With exhalation, we're gonna contract this muscle. Instead of think about it, less of a sucking the belly in, more of a bringing it together. So we're just visualizing how our core is closing up. So with a conscious breathing, visualization, we're gonna hug the baby. So once again, coming into tabletop position, making sure that the neck is continuation of our spine, so head is not forward. We're gonna take a deep inhale, drop the belly down to the floor. And on the exhale, bring that belly button towards the spine. Inhale, exhale. I'm sure you can go much higher. Let's go. Inhale without changing the position in your spine. And exhale, pressing that belly button into the spine. Let's go a couple more times. Inhale. And exhale, squeezing. Beautiful. Now let's engage our pelvic floor muscles. We're going to imagine that there is a straw. There's a straw here, and we're trying to suck up the liquid through the straw up into our pelvis. So it happens when we do that exhalation. Let's try once again. Take a deep breath in, drop the belly down, and exhale, sucking up that liquid. Perfect. It's kind of like Kegel, but not exactly. So here the visualization is extremely important. Nice. Once again, inhale, drop in the belly, bringing the liquids out of the straw, and brace in the core, sucking up the liquid. Beautiful. Visualization and the connection with mind body, it's the foundation of this course. It's very important that we know how to brace the core, how to close it up, because it's going to be so important during the recovery postpartum for whoever have diastasis, which is very, very common when abdominal muscles are getting pulled apart a little bit. It's also going to be helpful for us to close up the ribs. You know, our ribs during pregnancy have a tendency to spread up a little bit, same with the hip bones. So by doing this conscious movements, we're going to bring them back together. The last set of exercises today is going to be for hip mobility. We're going to come into a kneeling position, exactly 45 degrees, not to the side, but a little bit forward. So by keeping that pelvis slightly tucked and core a little bit engaged, we're going to start doing gentle shifts forward. We can bring the arms up, making sure that we're allowing the hips to drop, bringing some release here in the inner thighs. Our inner thighs worked hard today, so we want to stretch them up a little bit. Exhaling on the release. And how about we add a bit of a side bend here? So as we extend this leg, we're doing a side bend and coming back as we bring the knee forward. Here we're making sure that the knee stays open to the side. There is no buckling inwards. Let's go a couple more. Perfect. Driving that knee out. The last one. Beautiful. Let's switch the side. Bringing the foot 45 degrees. Tucking the pelvis, making sure there's no arching in the back. So we can target the inner thigh more. Perfect. Started with gentle shifts. Remembering we're not holding the breath here. Ideally exhaling as we come down. As we release. Perfect. And let's add that side bend here. Opening up the rib cage. And coming back into that release. We have one more, but you move at your own pace. If you're too tired, you can stop earlier, or if you want to go for two more, repetitions, feel free to do so. Beautiful. Now let's come into a child's pose. This is going to be our last exercise for today. Of course, for third trimester, our child pose have to be a little bit opened up. So I like to keep my feet together, open up the knees, sink the chest down. And let's take a few deep breaths here. Sinking the chest down more, opening up the chest. Let's walk our hands to one side, 45 degrees. Let's take 2 deep breaths here. And let's walk our hands to another side. Feeling that stretchy sensation on your right side. Sinking the chest down. And whenever you're ready, coming back to center. You did such an amazing job today. I'm so proud of you. I hope you're feeling better, more open. It's time we drink a glass of water and feel that amazing blood circulation going into our pelvis. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'm going to see you in the next practice.